online courses that work in combination with the courses that are on campus. So if you want to take some courses here at TRU, but you want a flexible schedule and you want to take some courses online, that's where TRUOL comes into play. So both John and I are on the media team, and we develop a lot of the resources and the assets that are embedded in courses when you take them online. Now, more recently, we've been involved in the innovations team. And who here knows what the word innovation means? Anybody? I'm sure, yes.
It's like either you make something new, or you take something and make it better.
Very good. All right. Hey,
You're not allowed to. How's it going?
so that's exactly right. We work with new technology, and we constantly work with trying to make courses better, more interesting, more engaging, and more educational. So John, do you want to take it out of the live stream?
What I'll talk about, so in terms of innovation, there's two things that we do with open learning. Like, one is we just show learning objects online somehow, right? So if I asked you how to, or if you wanted to learn how to tie a tie or knot, do you want to read a bunch of text on it, or do you want to watch a video of somebody tying a knot, right? Obviously, it's much easier to learn if you can see somebody tying a knot than it is reading. Turn the bow over the left, inside the hole, right? It's much harder. So we take material like that and translate it into something that is much more easily accessible to learn from. So one thing we also do, though, is for convocation, which is our graduation ceremony, is we do live streaming. So for the last 6 or 7 years, we've been doing live streaming of the ceremony. We have 3 big broadcast cameras. They're wired in. It takes a big long time to set up. We got a bunch of big boxes. We have a switcher and a laptop and all this equipment. And it's pretty, takes a long time to set up something. So we just discovered this year on the iPad, now we can switch with phones. So what you're seeing here is coming through just your regular iPhone, right? So you have all the same capabilities of a switcher, but just on this little device. So what you would see is all your cameras in one section, and then you can just switch it over to the next one and get ready for the next shot. Go there, let's switch it around there. Actually, so what's cool about this is the portability and the size. So as you guys are growing up and learning about science right now, one thing to keep in mind and really pay attention to is the jobs that you're gonna have often don't even exist yet, right? Like my job did not exist. These devices did not exist. Drones didn't exist. And this is only a period of 5 years. So by the time you guys graduate from university, there's gonna be so many new jobs and so many amazing things you can do if you do science and technology stuff, right? Because innovation is happening so fast right now. What else we talk about with live streaming? So this live streaming, this is just going through YouTube. So we just connected the laptop to a YouTube channel, and it's just going live to the world on YouTube right now, right? Nobody has the address, so no one's really watching. But
so John, why don't you explain how this has actually changed the way that instructors can deliver information and why it's innovative to TRU?
Yeah, like one way we're looking at using this kind of technology is if there's an instructor that wants to do a demonstration on something, say a chemistry class, well, they can just do it by themselves and not have to get a big giant team to come in and set up a whole bunch of cameras. You can have 1 or 2 cameras, their laptop, and just have the chemistry experiment on the desktop, have 1 camera facing there and 1 camera facing at his face, and just do it live, right? And immediately, and then you have this nice product that the students can watch and really learn from. And students can be watching online and type in questions and say, oh, but back at that step there, which chemical was that actually? Right? And then the guy goes, oh, okay, and then he starts explaining. So then there's instant feedback between these online participants and like who we would call the learners, like the students, and the instructor. So you get that instant feedback that you can, and it just enhances your learning capabilities a lot better that way.
And so in the industry, that's a term that we actually call real-time engagement. And real-time engagement has actually been around since the dawn of media. So with radio, people used to phone in and ask questions and engage with the radio host. And then as it progressed to TV, there was a live audience, or if it was an infomercial, you could call in and order your product. And as we've progressed on social media, people can participate in webinars or post and comment on each other's stuff. But we've slowly moved away from this thing of real real-time engagement. And what the advent of Facebook Live has really done for us as educators and as an institution is allow us to re-implement real-time engagement for students and help them interact in a real time with their professors and circumvent that distance. So if they're taking courses online, they can really interact in a personable way with their professors. Good catch.
So the next thing we wanted to show you is these little tiny things called drones. So this is our drone that belongs to our department. Everybody knows what these are, right? Anybody have a drone? Sort of.
I want one, but I can't.
Yeah, they're expensive. They're a lot cheaper now. But these things didn't exist. And so what these have enabled me and my job to do is get into situations where I can take pictures or video from where I normally would be impossible. So a few years ago, we did a geography course, and we were looking at settling ponds up in Bachelor Heights, right? So they were talking about vegetation. So the researcher was looking at the different types of vegetation and how submersed they are in water. So so if you look at a pond, you can see on the very far edges there's plants that don't go in water at all, they just are on dry land, and then it slowly merges into ones that get submerged sometimes depending on how deep the water is, and then ones that are able to be fully submerged and still stay alive. Well, when we were trying to get images of these, I'm trying to stand in my car and do this, and it was really hard. Well, 2 years later, we bought this, and so I just went back there and flew right over top, and you get these amazing photos, and you can see all the rings of vegetation from a perspective that normally you wouldn't be able to see. So it's that enhancement of the actual camera viewpoint that is really a good tool for us. Other people on campus are using drones for research in other ways. This drone belongs to John Church, who works in the environment or natural resources. So he does ranching. So can you think of any ways how this drone would help with ranching? Checking on cattle how?
By using the drone, taking pictures with the camera about this, because someone in this building actually comes to my farm to check on the cattle with that drone.
Oh yeah, John Church, yeah. Yeah, so what happens is sometimes when the cows are let out in the spring, right? And then you try to go get them back, and then they wander off, and you're like this. So they used to have to get like a helicopter and pay a lot of money to go and find where they are. So now you can just sit in the back of the truck, go like this, and fly kilometers away and look around. So the cool thing about this drone in particular that we brought is this one has a thermal imaging camera. So I'll let Brandon talk about that.
So who here knows what thermal imaging is? Yes? No? Yes?
30-second delay.
See in the dark, yes, you can, but there's another aspect, yeah, thermal imaging.
What if there's like a map, like say if you were flying, you saw like red, but it kind of showed like where it's very green?
That's more topographical mapping, yes.
It's like, say I filled this ball up with hot water, and then I filled another ball up with cold water, and I took a thermal photo of it. This would be red, and this would be another color. I forget, that means like this is hot. So it's like-
Exactly, so thermal, if we look at the word thermal, it's heat, right? When we emit thermal radiation, that's something you probably study in science. There's a few different types of energy, right? And there's thermal energy, which is the emittance of heat. And so this camera detects the emittance of heat through its sensor. Now who can think of the benefit of using a thermal camera? Yes, what can we use it for?
Like if you're in the army